A new season. That's powerful, my friends, powerful. Thank you. Thank you for the soloists. Stand up just for a minute, soloists, because you rocked that. That's what I'm saying. I'm especially biased for Shonda because Shonda works in the office. She does the volunteers. She had this all done, and then she gets up there and she just goes, booyah! Thank you. Wow. Thank you. It does feel like a new season, doesn't it? When you look around, do you see a few more people? Things are opening up a little bit, which feels good, right? It does. I want you to think back to the first time that you made a card or you gave a gift. You know, you probably made it for your mom, right? I remember all of 4, and I created the masterpiece for my mom. You know, and just the joy of being able to give that gift to her. And then later in life, you know, I've been able to witness so many kids when they're in that spot of giving to their mom, you know, that gift of love and adoration, and you can just see they're bursting. The energy is just bursting out of them. It's a wonder to behold. It's magical. And I believe everyone's mom is their first love. It's their first relationship. It's the one who will cherish us and love us unconditionally. The one we see as the giver of life, of substance, sustenance. She'll nurture us, she'll care for us, she'll lift us to greatness. She is the wellspring from which we accomplish all that's good in the world. And this is why every Mother's Day there's such an overflowing of blessings to Mom, right? The giver of life. At least that's our understanding of the Great Mother archetype. The Great Mother archetype. Where do we get these ideas of what perfect mothering is? Well, we get it from the collective unconscious. The great father of analytic psychology, Carl Jung, he proposed that we are each born with a collective unconscious, right? We're each born with that. And this collective unconscious, it holds humanity's shared memories and constructs. And we find comfort in them. They resonate with us. And it doesn't matter what culture we're born into. It doesn't matter what time period we are in. They hold. So if I say to you, someone's a hero, immediately what's going to happen is a picture is going to pop in your head about what constitutes a hero. What could they have done? What would they have said? That's an archetype. It's the hero archetype. So what we know is that an archetype is simply the prototype of a role or a person. That keeps it simple, right? Prototype of a role or a person. And the archetype of the Great Mother is the personification of the feminine. Its fundamental attribute is the capacity to nourish and to love. The archetype is so foundational in our unconsciousness that if we do not have a nurturing mother, we seek one out in someone else and project that prototype, that archetype of the Great Mother on them. And if there isn't a real person available, we become the Great Mother ourselves. So that's how powerful it is. And I share this with you so that you get a sense of the enormous social construct that we're under when we're talking about the perfect mom. For many, Mother's Day can be a double-edged sword. We should all over ourselves about what the day should look like, what we should feel, what we should say, what we should do to honor our moms. And if we happen to be mothers, well, we've got expectations, don't we? We have expectations of how we should be honored as mothers. what our kids should do. Maybe even fly across country during a pandemic so that they can honor us. Just saying, maybe. Or maybe they have a should about what church service for Mothering Sunday looks like and what the preacher should be talking about. Good luck with that one, right? So here's the thing. Peg Streep is an author, and she's written a book entitled Mean Mothers, in which she calls for a reality check of our understanding of motherhood. She writes this: not all mothers love unconditionally or otherwise. For the mother who doesn't, the cultural myths of unconditional love and maternal instinct require her to hide and deny her feelings at all costs, even if she cannot always keep herself from expressing them in words or gestures. There's no room in the mother myth for the mother who resents all the attention that her infant or toddler needs, or who chafes at the necessary loss of freedom and self-focus the transition into motherhood usually entails. When I first read this book, I really had an aha moment because it gave credence to the struggle for so many about motherhood. What's interesting is that there is this unwritten rule not to say anything negative about mothers or mothering. In our collective unconscious, it's taboo and it goes against the archetype of the great mother. The concept of the great mother even permeates religious dogma. Let's talk about the Virgin Mary, untouched, gives birth to the Christ of the world. What about the Ten Commandments? There's one in there that says, honor thy mother and thy father, right? So that your days will be long in the land that your God has given you. It's ingrained within our humanity to elevate and honor our parents. But what happens if some of us have not had the great mother? I know it's a shocker. It's possible. In our human psyche, we unconsciously keep trying over and over to redo or undo our childhood in the hopes of finally experiencing the great mother. It can look like this. Each time you find yourself in a relationship, name, face, gender, different, but you're in that relationship with someone who's unable to love us, unable to love you. And all because this time we can finally prove to our families we are worthy of love. The pain some have suffered as children unconsciously keep them in this loop, creating over and over an attempt to win their parents' love. It often becomes a vicious cycle of unrequited love and acceptance, but here's the thing. We can never win by attempting to fix our woundedness. We can never win by attempting to fix our woundedness. The only way out of this cycle is by understanding how family systems operate, truly getting it on a cellular level that our mothers learned their behaviors from where? From their families. And so they recreate what they know, unless there is a cause for an awakening to break the cycle. So knowing my family of origin's foibles was important to my own healing. I know that my mom loved me deeply. But you know what? She wasn't a hugger. She didn't know how to show affection. She didn't know how to be kind, because she wasn't taught that in her family system. It wasn't her life experiences. For her, a mom meant that she had to be strong. And she had to be strong because she thought as a black woman she couldn't show her vulnerability. Her survival and the survival of her children were at stake. And what this means is I can have empathy for her and release my need to continually blame her for my pain. It meant I could finally stop self-sabotaging. You see, understanding family systems allowed me to take responsibility for my development, for my evolution, for my dreams. And then I become accountable for my actions and the life that I'm living. Now let's look at mothering from a different perspective. Let's look at it from the purview of the soul. We know that there's some that say, maybe my mother and your mother agreed on the roles that they took for our highest good. Reincarnation suggests that our soul, the essence of who we are, it never dies, right? And we are reborn again and again, living multiple lives for a purpose. The spiritual theory about that is that when we reincarnate, we are working towards our soul's evolution, toward a greater way of understanding and growth through our life experiences. These souls seem to reincarnate together in what is known as soul groups. Some people say soul clusters or soul families. You may have heard those terms. To help facilitate and support each other through these varied incarnations. And these groups of souls, they're really interconnected on a deep level, and they travel together through multiple lifetimes. The belief is the soul cluster has gone into agreement with each other about the types of roles they will provide during each incarnation. And the soul groups are then brought together in each lifetime in differing roles. Maybe this time I'll be the mom, maybe this time I'll be the sister, maybe this time I'll be the husband, maybe this time I'll be your nemesis, maybe this time I'll be your soulmate. With the understanding of this concept, it would imply that I chose my parents. What? And perhaps you chose yours as well, to help learn what we needed to grow, to experience, to gain wisdom as evolving divine consciousness. And I have to say that when I first heard about this, probably about 20 years ago, it was a game changer for me. Before this realization, I was really stuck in that blaming paradigm of blaming the parents for not being the parents I thought I needed. I would compare them to all the wondrous parents out there. You know, because the grass is always greener on the other side, right? And so in this comparison, they always came up short. Always came up short. And so I was resentful, miserable, and unhappy. I was so focused on what I didn't get, on what was missing, that I didn't look at what I did receive. What I did receive. And this also translated into my worldview, how I saw the world around me. Right? I was always focused on what wasn't happening. What was the injustice that I've experienced today? A little dramatic, yes, I was. And it wasn't until I was forced to look at and then embrace all the gifts that I did get from my family that I started to become more balanced. And for me, that was the beginning of my healing. You see, finding the gifts and feeling the gratitude for those gifts is how we start to become whole again. So the question starts with, what good things did you get in your childhood? What good things did you get in your childhood? What good things did you get in your childhood? Now, the first time that my therapist asked me that question, I was like, have you not been paying attention all this time in therapy? Did you miss it? And I said to her, nothing. I got nothing. I was so angry. I was so angry at the world around me, right? I couldn't find one aspect that was a gift. And it did take me a while. And the first realization was that I realized they taught me to navigate the world with poise and with class. Huge gift. And after a while, I was able to find so many things to be grateful to them for. And each thing I found, it shifted my self perception of who I am. In this awareness, it's not just about the things that we perceive as bad or good that we become whole, right? Before this shift in consciousness, I was so burdened, walking around victimized as a victimized woman. Happiness, evolution of consciousness, wasn't even in my mind as available. That was for somebody else. But only in my desire to let go of my resentments and to forgive my family was I able to really be free. So here's the thing I'm going to ask you today. Whomever your mom is or was, it's time. It's time possibly to let go of those resentments. Or maybe you can just take her off that perfection pedestal and allow her to be human. What a concept. You see, whatever she did or did not do, whether she was a saint or a sinner, her behaviors are her own to make peace with. But who we become as adults and the life we choose to live, that's our responsibility. So today I thank my mom for being my mom, who gave me life, taught me to be strong, and contributed to the person I've become today. And if you are a mom yourself, this is also the time to forgive yourself for any errors that you've made raising those babies. Because here's the deal, if you're breathing, you made errors. That's the facts, right? So allow yourself to be human and know that errors are part of the human condition. It's how we grow, it's how we evolve, it's how we learn. And if you chose, or circumstances chose for you not to be a mom, celebrate all the ways that you get to nurture yourself, to heal, and to nurture others. Each time you reached out to someone in need of a mother figure, you were indeed their surrogate mom. And that's a huge, huge gift to so many. I mean, my own life was positively impacted by all the surrogate moms that came into my life. Graham and I, we were not blessed to have kids. But you know what? I think that frees us up to be parents to a whole bunch more people. Probably, right? I heard that. Probably. So I see it as a blessing, today. And in closing, I just want to mention that the nurturer can be found in so many different people. It's not a female-only job. It's not. The divine feminine is in each of us, whether we're male, female, gay, straight, trans, non-binary, or what other label humanity chooses to impose on people, right? Everyone has the capacity to nurture and love. So this Mother's Day, celebrate those people who nurtured you along the way. Maybe it was a teacher, a friend, a mentor, your mom, or someone else. This Mother's Day, reach out to those who supported you, lifted you up, saw you, heard you, loved you. Mothers don't have to give birth to be a mother. And I'm suggesting that we change the shift of mothering to a new paradigm. The paradigm of mothering being someone who lifts you up. Happy Mother's Day. Isn't that a beautiful picture? All different kinds of moms. So if you're ready, let's meditate. So get into a comfortable position if you're able to have your feet firmly on the ground, allowing Mother Earth to support you. Taking that nice deep breath in and exhaling. If you're willing, you may close your eyes. If it feels better open, leave them open. This is your time. And I want you to grab a picture in your mind's eye of your mom, the most recent one. Maybe she's in her 70s, 80s. Maybe she's passed on. Whatever is your last memory of the way that she looked, I want you to bring that to your mind's eye and pause and just take a moment to say, I love you. And then I want you to go back in time. See your mom maybe 20 years younger. What was she like then? I want you to move back in time again. Maybe she's in her 40s, feeling powerful. Moving back in time again to her 20s. And maybe you'll need some picture references for that. Pictures of her when she was a teen, a child, a toddler, a baby. And then I want you to go back just a little bit more and see the spark of divine, the spark of divinity that is your mom. And that energy that is your mom, I invite you to bring it into your heart space. And be with that spark. Be with her in her true essence of who and what she is, of God. And allow your heart to fill up with love overflowing for her. And breathe. Take a moment of thanksgiving for the gifts that she gave. And then bless her and release her. And after she's released, I want you to allow that overflowing energy of love to flow through you. Love you. See you. Support you. You have it all right there, right inside of you. And take a moment of thanksgiving for yourself, for all that you have done, for all the gifts that you gave to you. And then I want you to have that energy of love and light that is you. I want you to feel it moving in your body all the way up through your crown chakra, spreading love to everyone in this room. And watching that energy now push out of this building because it is too big to hold, spreads through Austin, loving everyone here, supporting everyone here. And then see that energy push again around the world. Yes, you are that powerful. Now take a nice deep breath in and exhale. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel the pew supporting you. You may open your eyes, Stretch out if you need to. Namaste.